Let me go further than simply the last recording without losing the essence of it by making it the same recording. So I'm making this a separate one. You will go through this world so often finding yourself spectacularly isolated and alone. Sometimes through a fault of your own, but not necessarily. It's not because of your inadequacy. It's because of the great blessing that God, your God, has for you. You see, it is your infinite welfare that you are utterly dedicated to the most wonderful being, more than the most wonderful being imaginable. That's your God, my God, your God, our God. You must love the Lord your God with all your heart, soul, mind and strength, if you are to have the ultimate blessing of the company. I need a word that's nearer, of the oneness with such a one as our God. So, you will from time to time be spectacularly aware that everything can let you down, but for God. So that you are centered where you should be centered, ever on our eternal, more than wonderful friend. Don't therefore take such experiences as desolating, except to anchor in you your relationship, in your consciousness, your relationship with God, your God, our God, Dad, your Dad, our Dad. This is utterly important. These things are not sent to alienate you from our wonderful friend. They are to put you in his embrace eternally. Bless you. May our Heavenly Father give you ears to hear what this blessing is. Bless you, love. Thank you, Dad. Look, it's not just us. Sorry, it's not just others that do it. We do it ourselves. I don't mean intentionally in the sense of if we really understood the role we're playing, we would, well, in a poor understanding, we would be upset. In a pure understanding, we're not, because we still trust God. We trust God for our own mistakes, for our own errors that are not errors because He is, because of God. Do you see He is infinite, great enough to put before every difficulty, every misunderstanding, his wonderfulness, both as regards power and kindness to us, always overcomes. Always transforms that which appears so terribly evil into its correct perspective of being a blessing. I guess you can only receive this by faith, by trust in him, by your experience that builds that sort of trust. I said elsewhere earlier recently that it is the only thing we can give him, really, is our trust. And we do so both to save our own skin, so to speak, to be an infinite blessing to ourselves, but also in gratitude, our way of saying, love you, Dad. I love you, Dad. I may feel wounded, hurt, shot down, whatever it is. But I trust it to you, my dearest friend, my infinite friend. And I thank you for it. You're my God, and I love you. I renew my trust in you by this experience and rise in life eternal in consequence by your grace, by your loving kindness. Thank you, Dad. And I suppose I should put these recordings together. I'm not sure. Perhaps I just group them in the same number. Thank you, Dad. I should point out that I've been shot down at church and shot down with my wife. Shot down with another fellowship I belong to as well. And you may say, oh, poor chap, he's feeling a bit alone, to say the least. But it's for a blessing, you see. It drives me into God's arms, that I don't forever stay at a distance from him. It's what life is about. Don't shy away from it as bitter. It's a blessing. Why else would your lovely, wonderful God have such happen to you? You're going to say thank you. It's your way of saying to him, I now know how important it is to trust in every circumstance. My soul longs for you. My soul longs for you. I love you, Dad. Thank you. And so lightly I fly. This habit of trusting God, so simple, is actually everything to your eternal welfare. You're going to choose your God, to love him with all your heart, soul, mind and strength, and to love him the more with every difficulty that comes to you as you see it. It's a self-fulfilling prophecy, you see. It transforms all that would appear otherwise into an eternal blessing. Your joy cannot be contained. You will flood universes of universes. Because your lovely God dwells in you. Bless you, bless you, bless you. Thank you, Heavenly Father. Thank you, Dad. You won't necessarily realize that it's you can get to a point where you are being so godly that it's so alien to the children of this world, including those that are seeking out God truly in their heart, that they react as if you were not wedded to God. And, well, they shoot you down. You see, you react in such an outstanding way in that they're not expecting pure behavior. They don't know where to put it. Doesn't fit. They defend themselves because it's a strangeness. It's perhaps you're benevolent after all. Perhaps, you see, they're suddenly in uncharted territory and their defenses come up and it's automatic within them. And they would cause you harm, but for your great trust in God. And then far from it being harm, brings you even closer to him, our Heavenly Father, and that is the great blessing. Don't miss it. You always have this incredible opportunity to bless yourself by trusting when you are in unknown, unfamiliar, dangerous territories, dangerous waters, however you want to visualize it. You always, always, always have the choice to nonetheless trust God for it, for the difficulty. It is your moment to be embraced, in which you can experience even greater avalanching blessing. See for yourself. Do it. Find out. I don't think you'll be disappointed, because I think that in your heart you will come to the most fantastic relationship with your God. And just, we express it as life eternal, but gosh, I think it's It's spectacular beyond any imagination that we might have. Bless you. So yes, I've been hurt recently, but not too hurt, because quickly it comes to my mind, I wonder what God's doing here. Let's trust him for it. And then I fly, because I live in laughter. The laughter that comes from the release of the absolute joy of recognizing that I'm in your embrace, Father. How could this be anything but a blessing? God, I love you. Thank you that you've taught me, Lord, and teach all of us, I guess, to love you by our excursions in loving one another. We get swept away and we, dare I say it in a casual sense, idolize another person, and whoops, suddenly they let us down something spectacular. For a blessing. Your blessings, God, you love us. We so delight in putting our trust in you. It is our joy. It is our infinite reward. Love you, Dad.